So I'm right now a big fan of Wahoo Fitness. Morning. But that's not to say that I'm not using Strava anymore. I do use Strava, but I use Strava to contain or hold all my records of my workouts. And that's one of the benefits of getting the Wahoo speed and cadence sensor. Now, I may have gone way off topic by going down the road and talking about the Wahoo Fitness software, but the reason I needed the speed and sensor control is I needed a way of being able to record what I'm doing on my bike when my bike is on the trainer. And this is a device that I decided on. I have mentioned before in other videos that I pretty much do ride all winter long, all year long, and as long as there isn't snow and ice covering the road, yeah, I'll take the bike out. If it isn't, you know, absolutely frigid temperatures where it's dangerous to be out, sure, I'll get out on the bike. But planning ahead a little bit with the idea that, you know, I want to get faster and I want to get stronger, and training is the way to get there, it made sense to set up a trainer and to be able to use it on those days where, hey, maybe it's marginal. Maybe you think that the weather's too damn cold, or as an example, this weekend the temperatures are supposed to drop quite a bit from where they are, and actually it's probably just going to get down to what you would consider normal temperatures for this time of year. But they're predicting very strong winds, very gusty, for Saturday or Sunday, or maybe both. So, you know, there's a case right there where you're thinking, well, do I want to go out and fight headwinds and crosswinds and getting blown all over the place when I can just get on my trainer, get a good workout, and work on my goal of getting stronger and faster. So essentially, for right around $260, I have a trainer, I have the software, I have a sensor, so that I can start a training session using Trainer Road. I'm really looking forward to getting to a certain goal, and I was kind of hoping I might be able to do it before the end of this year, but yeah, well, you never know, I might get there. My goal essentially is I'd like to be able to be riding at an average of 18 miles an hour. Right now I'm at 17. And I have hit 17.5 miles per hour average speed 4 times on this ride that I take on my workouts. But I will tell you, it takes a lot of effort to go from 1 mile per hour faster than where you were. Oh, I should mention too that I'm still riding the same bike. I'm still riding my Volano Shadow. Had it a little bit more than a year now. I've got 5,200 miles on it, I believe, and I've got just about 3,700 miles riding this year since the beginning of the year. I've also, going back to people I follow on Strava, I've also asked a few people on Strava who, they're up in that category of 18, 19 mile per hour average speed. I asked them, just what sort of credit do you give to having the kind of bike you have for being able to do those kinds of speeds? And I think the majority of people have come back and said, my carbon fiber bike that cost me $3,000 made all the difference. And I've gotten a few people coming back and saying, and they're carbon fiber bike people, I've got a few people who came back and said, listen, doesn't matter what you ride, you're the engine, you make it go. Well, anyway, for me, I decided to stay with the Volano. And I think if I were ever to move up to a more expensive bike, serious bike, I definitely think the Trek Amunda ALR would be my bike, the ALR6. It's an aluminum frame bike, but it weighs 17.6 pounds. That's pretty damn good. And I tell you, I got nothing wrong with, I got no problem riding an aluminum bike. I mean, I know everybody you talk to says, go with the carbon fiber. It's a lighter bike. You'll be able to climb better. Yada yada. True enough. Maybe that would be a real consideration for me if I were into racing or getting into a group where, whole pack of you get on the road and travel 50, 60 miles and you're doing 18, 19, 20 miles an hour. But I'm not there yet, kids. Head bob to that guy. I don't generally like taking my handlebars. I generally don't like taking my hands off the handlebars around here. Only because it seems like every time I've done it before, done that, I hit a bump or a rock, and I get a little bit of a surprise. So I'll acknowledge another rider coming the other way with a head bob, and I think that's more than sufficient. I sense that I got a little bit of a headwind going on here or something. Getting a lot of wind in my ears. It surprises me because I thought I had a west wind going on today. Anyway. That's kind of another safety factor when it comes to riding on a day where there's a lot of wind, which, as I said, they're kind of predicting for this weekend. If you've got a headwind, at least when I got a headwind, I can never hear a car coming up behind me, A tailwind, you can hear them coming a half mile away. But when you get a real blustery day, the wind is kind of swirling in every direction, and you're doing some road biking, it can be a little scary if you can't hear what's going on around you. Hill climb. Yeah, still riding the Volano. But I do maintain it quite a bit. What do I mean by maintaining it? Well, I keep it clean, keep the drivetrain clean and lubricated, and this thing hasn't missed a shift in 6 months. I mean, it is just as smooth as silk. Of course, it doesn't compare to the higher end bikes where you got 10 and 11 speeds. I've only got 7, which essentially means my cadence will drop considerably more between gears than that of a bike that's got 11 speeds. But I got no problem with that. Once again, you know, I'm not racing, just enjoying the bike. The other thing I did recently, when I first got the bike and I was riding, my neck, my shoulders, my back kind of bothered me, which is very typical for people who are first getting into road biking. The road bike position is kind of tough on you. You have to grow into it. So what I did to help alleviate some of that neck pain and all that was I took the stem on the bike and I flipped it over. I think it had maybe, maybe 17, 18 degree of an angle on the stem. You know what, if you know what I mean? Because the steering tube leans back a certain degree, and then your stem that connects to it repeats that same angle, so that the stem is somewhat horizontal to the ground. So I flipped it over, and that raised the handlebars up probably an inch or 2. Inch minimum, probably closer to 2 though. And about a week ago, I decided, you know what? I'm a big boy now. Flip that sucker back over. So now my stem is in the position it was designed to be in by the manufacturer. Has that made any difference? Yeah, I think so in one respect. I'm a little more aero than I was before. So you're going to get a little more speed out of that naturally. And well, it looks more it looks more like I think the bike should look.